you said it.
Hi, hello, welcome to another episode of Now We've Said It. Y'all, it's me, Quisha. First off, I want to apologize for no podcast last week. I was on vacation and the internet was terrible, so I couldn't even watch the show. Therefore, I could not record the podcast. But I'm here now to talk about the newest episode. I don't have too much to say about last week's episode. It was honestly pretty boring. I mean, no tea, no shade to Wendy and her family thing, but the little baby celebration was very cute. I want to go to a party where people throw money on me without having to take my clothes off. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but preferably if I could be dressed real cute and just have people throw money at me and on me, shower me with money, that would be great. The only other scene that caught my attention was, y'all know we got to see Uncle Lump again. So Uncle Lump is meeting with Ashley and her mom and baby Dean to kind of just say how he feels about the whole Michael situation. Y'all, I could not take my eyes off of Ashley's mom and that eye patch. Now, I'm not even talking about the eye patch. That is neither here nor there. I'm not even focused on the eye patch. What I'm talking about is, did her mom seem a little out of it to y'all? Sis looked drunk to me. Like, she looked wasted. Y'all let me know. The eye patch is a whole other story. I'm not even, she said something was wrong with her eye and it was pussing up or whatever. Fine, wear the eye patch, but the eye patch plus the drunkenness, it was giving me drunken sailor tease. Y'all go back and watch that scene. Pay attention to Ashley's mom. She looked like she had been sipping on a little something. Anyway, let's get right into this episode. So this is season 5, episode 13, and it is called No Shows and Showdowns. I would say overall this was a pretty good episode. Some really good scenes here and there. So the first scene we could have done without. It was Gizelle and Juan meeting up at the jewelry store to pick out a ring for Robin. Now, Juan, with his beautiful fine self, came into that jewelry store looking like a damn bum. Sweatpants or sweatshirt or whatever, and he needs to shape up his beard. It's very misshapen and he is too fine to be letting his beard grow all kinds of ways. You know what? Maybe it's a good idea for him to keep the beard looking messy so that way, you know, some women can stay away from Juan. I'm sure, y'all remember that scene? Well, going back to last week, there was that scene where Robin went to go watch him coach. I was like, look at Juan. He looking fine as hell. Coach Juan. Yeah, he looked real good. You better go watch him, girl. So anyway, they end up picking out a ring for Robin. It's like $8,900. It's not my style, but it's cute for Robin, I guess. Then we have a scene with Monique. She's getting ready for her live podcast show. The tickets still didn't sell, but it looked like she definitely sold more than 20. More than 20 people showed up, so good for her on that. But again, girl, you don't need to put that much money into a podcast. I'm telling you, this just me sitting up in my room. All right, you don't really got to do all that, girl. You don't need no studio. Sit down with a microphone and drink your Camus and talk about the mom stuff or whatever it is she talks about on that podcast, child. So she still says the tickets aren't selling. We see Pearl again. Now that they point out Pearl, I didn't notice him. Like, he didn't really catch my eye last season, but now they see Pearl. Listen, y'all, we have Uncle Lump, we got Pearl. All that's missing is my Uncle Junebug, okay? And there'll be a rowdy threesome right there. Pearl, Lump, and Junebug, they belong together. Monique says she's finally starting to feel bad, which is good. Like my friend B said, I will put her channel in the description box down below. She also does recaps. She said there's no need for these women to be pressuring Monique to feel some type of way immediately. Let Monique feel her feelings on her own. Give her time to feel remorseful. And if she never feels remorseful, then there's nothing you can do about that. She's allowed to feel remorseful or not remorseful. But she's talking to Pearl and she says, I'm finally starting to feel bad. And she said she wanted to call Candiace, but then boom, she got hit with a lawsuit. Candiace said, not today. So then she calls all the women except Candiace, and she invites them to the live podcast show. At first, it seemed like Robin was gonna go. She was like, I'll think about it, but I bet you Robin talked to Gizelle and found out Gizelle wasn't going, so she said no. But honestly, I don't think I saw Monique call Gizelle. Do y'all remember that? I don't think she called Gizelle. You know, Monique still feels some type of way about Gizelle. They are not, I don't see them getting along anytime soon. And this is before the Candiace situation. They didn't really seem to get along ever, really. And I don't really think they ever will. I just think Monique is always going to have a bad taste in her mouth for Gizelle. And deservedly so. Gizelle was shady towards Monique since day one. So I don't blame Monique for not giving Gizelle the time of day. Like, why? Gizelle is so phony. But she called Robin. I thought Robin was going to go, but we found out later on that she does not go. She calls Wendy, and Wendy was like, no. Wendy said, I cannot support you. It is a no for me, dog. Wendy straight up told her. But the thing about it, both Robin and Wendy said, I don't see any changes being made, but they are not giving her a chance to prove to them that she's making any changes. Like, go see for yourselves. They are asking for one thing and not really giving her the opportunity to deliver that thing for them. So how is she supposed to show y'all that she's changed if y'all don't show up to see her change? Oh, and then Monique invites Karen. But listen, do y'all remember a couple of episodes ago when Candiace pulled out, before they got in a fight, Candiace pulled out of the podcast. Monique said that they were going to be like a couples panel. It was going to be Ray and Karen, Candiace and Chris, and somebody else. So wasn't Karen already scheduled to be there? So why did she call and invite Karen? I'm confusion. Was this a mistake? Was this scene supposed to not? Y'all tell me. Something was going on in that scene. Karen was already supposed to be there. She was on the flyer. Then we have a scene with Karen and Ray going to see a life coach. Karen mentions that Ray is anti-therapy, but okay, so Ray is anti-therapy, yet he went to talk to a radio host and now a life coach. What exactly is the difference except for the fact that the therapist is more qualified than the both of them bitches? I don't understand. Maybe he just doesn't like the word therapist. But I mean, they're saying the same things that they would have said to a therapist. I am very confused about that too. Ray, please clarify. They go to the life coach. Ray has on this old man hat. I mean, I understand he's old, but he's really giving into the old man stereotype. Ray is giving me very much old man. Very much so. And I'm sorry if y'all can hear my stomach growling. It's late at night. I had a very early dinner and I'm not about to edit it out, so I'm sorry. It's just body noises, okay? Sorry. Y'all, I'm also a little loopy. I've been filming videos since 9 o'clock. It is now 11:30, so I'm just, just trying to make my way through. I'm just trying my best to stay alive. I'm sorry the podcast is late, but y'all, I've been through a lot. Vacation was rough. All right, I digress. I'm sorry. Okay. In the life coach office, they pretty much reveal what I've been saying this whole time, is that Ray is just very uncomfortable with Karen being, I guess, quote unquote, the breadwinner and the center of attention in this relationship. Ray says that Karen's identity used to be Ray Huger's wife, and now his identity is Karen Huger's husband. That's right, and get used to it. Sit your old ass down and just soak up her getting all the attention. Didn't he say he's on his third retirement? So don't you want to retire, fall back, let Karen take the reins now? You're old. Sit down. I guess he's mad because she's not available to serve him tea in bed or whatever old men need. Soak his feet in Epsom salt or something like that, child. Karen is not available to do those things. He pretty much said he's so used to her tending to him and the house. Well, honey, it is 2020. And Karen is on the rise. Basically, he's just very uncomfortable with all the attention that she's getting and her having this newfound independence. Ray is very old school. He likes to be the man of the house. But listen, he didn't have a problem with this when he was taking half her money to help his tax issues. Now, was he? He wasn't putting up a fight then. And then Karen basically said she has never been properly thanked or her efforts acknowledged for her bailing him out. Putting up half her money to help him, holding down the house, taking care of the kids. He's never thanked her for everything she's done, for being a soldier for him. And then he goes, I can't go back and change that. And the life coach says, I know you can't go back and change that, but you can at least acknowledge it right now. We can work in the future and just move forward. And then he apologizes, but Karen seemed to accept it. But I don't know, y'all. It looked a little forced to me. He knew the cameras were on him, and the lady basically said, okay, well, here's your opportunity to apologize. So he apologized, but I don't trust it. We get a Wendy family scene. She's making bottles for the baby. She then drops 2 drops of breast milk into the boy's mouth. I guess they wanted to taste it. I don't have a problem with them tasting the breast milk. That's fine, whatever. It's natural. They clearly had it while they were growing up. It's like, but what are y'all doing? Why are y'all doing this right now? And what is 2 drops gonna do? So Wendy calls all the women except for Monique, and she invites them to Wine with Wendy. Wine with Wendy is an event that Wendy hosts where she gathers, you know, she said movers and shakers in the DMV area, Black women that are focused and are working on improving their community. I thought that was a great idea. Lovely event. It looked great. She calls Candiace and she pretty much asks her, outside of inviting her, she asks her how's she doing. Candiace starts stuttering. She sounds like me, child. If y'all don't know, I stutter a lot. You should hear. There it is right there. I stutter a lot. You should hear the things I have to cut out of here. I feel like me taking on this podcasting journey is going to help me with my stuttering. That's kind of not really a reason why I started, but I wanted to do this to help me with my speaking and to help me not stutter as much. Basically, all I need to do is slow my ass down when I'm trying to talk, y'all. That's the issue. I think faster than I talk, and then I get ahead of myself, and then I stumble over my words a lot, so I'm digressing. I'm not helping myself get to bed anytime sooner. Let me drink this wine. Y'all, I'll just be up in the nighttime. So she's talking to Candiace, and Candiace is telling her she's a little uneasy with the whole Karen situation because Karen told her if she were in her shoes, if she was in Candiace's shoes, she would press charges. But after that, Karen's actions are leaning more towards being on Monique's side. So she says that she doesn't want to ruin Wendy's event, but she does feel like she needs to pull Karen aside and talk to her at the event. Wendy says she supports her. Very cute. Then we have a scene with Gizelle and Jamal. Let me tell y'all something. I was under the impression that this relationship was legit. And then my friend B, again, I'm telling y'all, listen to B's recaps. She knows all the tea, child. And clearly I'm left out of the loop. And I usually think I know a lot of stuff, but child, I was under the impression that this relationship was real. Now I'm looking at it through a set of phony eyeglasses, and now I'm seeing it. They seem very uncomfortable with each other. They're not very lovey-dovey, and I'm not sure if he's doing that because he's a pastor and he doesn't want to be super affectionate on camera. They just seem very awkward, like good Judies, and not really like a couple. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm paying attention. I'm woke. My eyes have been opened to the fuckery and the fakeness of this relationship. He flew to Potomac to watch one of their daughter's performances at school or something like that, and Giselle's driving him back to the airport, and they are talking about their relationship. Well, Giselle's talking. Jamal's listening. At first he's not really responding. She's explaining to him basically that she no longer wants to be long distance and she kind of wants to move things a little bit more forward. He said, well, the only reason we're keeping it this way is because you said that you wanted your space and you wanted your independence. And she said, well, I don't want that anymore. And he says, okay, cool. And she's like, how do you feel about that? And he said, I'm relieved. He's lying. Also, the way he's talking to her is in a very, I don't want to keep using the word preacher-like, but it's a very business-like way. Preacherly. It's not a natural conversation the way he's talking. And I don't like it. They're not giving me love. They're giving me actors. Well, now they are. I wonder if I would have came to this conclusion on my own, but either way, it's in my head now. So when he got out of the car to give her a hug at the airport and I saw his outfit, they belong together. They both can't dress. I said that before, but anyway, his outfit gave me Troy tees from Waiting to Exhale. You know, Troy with that leather vest. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put some footage on the screen here so y'all can see who I'm talking about. But if you're listening, Google Troy Waiting to Exhale. He also kind of looks like him. Similar energies? No, Troy was a little more messy. Well, all right. Maybe I just answered my own questions. Maybe they are very similar energies. But anyway, I don't know why he was wearing that, child. All of Giselle's outfits this whole episode were like, why are you doing this to us? Why are you making us look at you wear these clothes? This is abuse. Now we have Monique and she's at the live podcast. I will say Monique looks very beautiful at the live podcast. She's wearing this very pretty form-fitting blue dress. I'm feeling the hair is a little bit better than it was at the lake house. She looks great, gorgeous, and her arms are so toned. I'm hella jealous. But anyway, the only person that shows up to support is Ashley. Ashley, I felt like, was there for selfish reasons. She was really there to spill tea. So she says the crowd is not as large as she wants it to be, but that's okay. She's going to give them a good show anyway, which I appreciate. Still put on a good show, and honestly, the crowd looked pretty full to me. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't an absolutely packed house, but it was more than 20 tickets, and it was like in a super cute jazz club. I was all about it. I would have went. Wait a minute, I might be lying. Let me see the flyer. Monique says the same thing that I was thinking earlier in the episode. I was actually thinking that, like, how are they going to see you change if they don't give you the chance? Monique says that in her confessional, and I 100% agree with her. I feel like they are going a little bit too hard on Monique. Like she said, she feels a little bit iced out, and I agree, they are definitely icing her out, and it's not right. I mean, okay, be angry, but she didn't beat y'all up. Let Candiace be super upset. I understand y'all can support Candiace, but you don't have to treat Monique like she has a disease or something, and like y'all act like she stabbed the girl or something like that. They're just going a little bit too hard, and y'all know I do not like Monique, but I just feel like the treatment of her is very unfair. Give her the opportunity to prove herself, and if she doesn't, then y'all can go hard on her. Give peace a chance. Monique also reveals that Karen canceled. She pulled out of showing up, and I read the text, and again, it made it look like Karen was just supposed to come sit in the crowd when I thought she was on the flyer. Let me see the damn flyer. And then y'all know Ashley, being the most Ashley she could be, went on ahead and spilled the tea to Monique that Karen told Candiace if she were in Candiace's shoes that she would have pressed charges. Y'all, Monique looked shocked. She was like, wow, really? Monique was like, you could tell she was genuinely shocked. And why wouldn't she be? All of this time, Karen has been giving her confirmation and affirmations that she's on her side and she's there for Monique. So why would she go behind Monique's back and say something like that to Candiace? Y'all, Karen trying to stay neutral really isn't helping her. She has both of these women mad at her. She's not doing this right. And I think she sees that because, I mean, we'll get to that one in the scene with Candiace, but it ain't working, honey. Spray some Madame and exit the room. Leave in a huff, leave everybody confused with the aroma of Madame confusing everybody, and just run out like a magician and poof, disappear. They are discussing what is she comfortable talking about with, you know, she got like a little MC or whatever, and she says, you know, they can ask me whatever they want, I just don't want to talk about the Candiace situation. And Lay's like, okay, noted, got it. So then they actually start the podcast, and the first question is about Candiace and Monique. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and be on the lady's side, the little MC. Now, she said don't talk about the altercation. The question wasn't about the altercation per se. It was like, what is the state of your friendship right now? So it wasn't like about, tell us about the fight. They just said, what is the state of you and Candiace's friendship? And Monique just said, pray for us. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all, my stomach is screaming. I really hope y'all can't hear this. Then we shoot over to Robin and Juan and the boys. They're doing like a little family bowling night. It was super cute. Their kids are so cute. They're having a little family bowling night. Her parents are joining them. She's telling Juan that she's going to break the news to her parents about her tax troubles, and Juan says he thinks that's a good idea. She needs to let them know. Then she says she gets flashbacks to the last time that she had to tell her parents they were having money issues, and she just didn't like the look on her parents' face. She doesn't like telling her parents that kind of news, but she feels like she needs to get it off of her chest and let them know. I agree, because she's probably going to end up, they're probably thinking, don't ask us for help, girl. So her parents come and she starts to break the news to them, and the mom was like, I know, I found it on Instagram. If that isn't some 2020 shit right there, her mom found it on Instagram. Here's my thing. What was she looking up hashtags about Robin to find it out? Was she following like All About the Tea or something like that? Who was she? How did she get the news? I'm assuming she follows like Housewives of Potomac hashtags and stuff like that. She has to. There's no other way you would come across that stuff on Instagram unless you follow the hashtags like me. So then Robin leaves to go to the bathroom, and Juan, you know, very, very planned. I feel like they are fooling us all. Well, they're not fooling me. This is not going to be Gizelle and Jamal. They're not going to do me like that. I see through Robin and Juan. She gets up and she goes to the bathroom, and Juan uses that opportunity to tell her parents that he's going to propose, and he asks them how do they feel about it. Now, their mouths say that they're okay with it, but their faces say a completely different story. Maybe they know it's fake too, and they're tired of playing this game. Somebody tell me something. Then we get to Wendy's event. It is super cute. I really like Candiace's shoes with the feathers on them. Very cute. Robin walks in with a wig. Robin ain't getting it right with the wigs. It's the wrong color. It doesn't suit her. It's just really giving me party Halloween. What is that store? That Halloween store? Halloween costume store tease. Candiace said, why is she wearing that wig? Is she trying to hide from the IRS? Girl, Candiace. So the event looked very productive. They were talking about the importance of the Black vote, you know, what your vote means and how can you vote best to serve your community. They had some really important questions and discussion topics. It was a lovely event. I would have loved to have been there. I noticed they had a bottle of wine on every table. Now, I wouldn't just want to be there for the wine, y'all. Women, especially Black women and Black people in general, understand how important it is to vote. If y'all are listening to me right now, make sure you are registered to vote, y'all. We're getting down to the wire. It is very important that you vote. So get out there and do your part and vote. Candiace pulls Karen to the side, which I love. Candiace is really doing a really good job of pulling people to the side this season. She's not being messy and having conversations in front of everybody. Much respect to that. But meanwhile, while her and Karen are making their way downstairs, Gizelle is upstairs spilling the tea to Ashley and Robin about what Karen told Wendy. So Giselle's like, yeah, so apparently while we were at the lake house, Karen told Wendy that she put up half her money to bail out Ray. And they were like, what? They're all in the business. They are so ready to catch that tea. And of course, Giselle's the one spilling it. She can't even give Wendy the opportunity to spill the tea. Gizelle is such a phony friend. She's using this all under the guise as I really want to be there for Karen and support her. I'm just going to let her get everything out. She's hurting, so I'm going to pull her to the side to talk to her. That's a lie. You are pulling her to the side so you can get all her tea and know all her business and use it against her next season. We see right through you, Gizelle. Gizelle is good for the show, but in real life, she is a terrible friend. And then they say, you know, when Karen's drunk, that's really when she lets all her stuff out, which is true. If y'all go back a few seasons and peep every time Karen was drunk, something relevant and juicy came out of her mouth, okay? That's somebody you want to be around when they're drunk, because Karen spills the tea, honey. So then we shoot to the Karen and Candiace conversation. Candiace says that Karen has been coddling and making excuses for Monique, and in doing that, she basically is choosing Monique's side. I agree, but I do think Karen is trying her best to really stay neutral. It's just not working because Monique was in the wrong. So it's like you can be there for Monique and support her, but also make sure that you acknowledge the error in Monique's ways. And there's a way to support both of them while being on the right side. Does that make sense? And of course, Karen doesn't agree. She says that she did the same thing to Candiace a year ago. She said she coddled and protected her as well. And Candiace is nodding in agreement. I'm trying to remember what she's talking about, but I can't quite remember. So if anybody knows, let me know in the comments. Karen also basically said that Candiace has a slick mouth, which she does. And Candiace, I hope in watching not only this season, but I encourage Candiace to go back and watch last season also, just to see the things that she says and the way that she talks to people is really, really bad. I mean, y'all know my favorite scene. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I've said it on a few live recaps. My favorite scene of any Housewives, well, all right, my favorite scene of Potomac is when Chris didn't want to hold Candiace's purse and he called her spoiled, and she said, "You're a piece of shit just like your deadbeat father." She said all this, like, completely went off on him, and all he did was call her spoiled. I mean, the things she said to him were grounds for cancellation of the marriage. So she really does know how to use her words and really cut down and provoke people. I'm not gonna lie, I think I said this last time, I don't know that I wouldn't have done anything differently than Monique did. If somebody was in my face and taunting me and doing the things that Candiace did, I'm not sure I would be able to restrain myself either. You just want to, like, snatch her up and slap her around. Like, she's so annoying. But I don't know. I haven't really been in a situation like that. But I'm just saying I could definitely see why someone would want to hit her. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying I see. So then they get down to Ashley and they're asking her, you know, because Monique blamed it on having the baby and stuff and tired and this and that. So then they say to Ashley, have you gotten much sleep? And Ashley's like, no. They're like, so have you beat up anybody? Ashley's like, no. And then Ashley gets into this thing, basically telling us why she's on Monique's side. She says she's basically on Monique's side because of last season at the Rainbow Party when Michael allegedly grabbed the producer's butt. Monique and Chris could have easily made up a lie and said that they saw him, but they said that they didn't see anything. And Ashley says that that shows integrity. I guess, but that has nothing to do with the current situation. And since you were not there, you should probably be the neutral person and not Karen. I just feel like they are all very, very annoyed with Candiace, especially Monique and Ashley. Ashley seems to be trying kind of, but not really. I just don't think that has anything to do with why you're on Monique's side. You're most likely on Monique's side because you heard Monique's side of the story first. That's all I'm saying. I'm very interested to see the reunion and to see if Ashley changes her perspective at all after watching the footage. Somebody let me know. And I hope they do an in-person reunion too. Ashley again reiterates the statement that I agree with Monique and that the ladies just need to give Monique a chance. They're not giving her any kind of chance and it's not right. Karen says that she's going to stay in neutral support of Monique until she sees the medical reports. She says something is medically wrong with her. Girl, there is nothing medically wrong with Monique. She quote unquote allegedly blacked out. I don't really know. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but she definitely came to while she was still at the barn or wherever that little wine thing was. She came to while she was there and after that proceeded to act like a fool on Twitter, liking shady tweets and all that kind of stuff. She wasn't blacked out all that long. Karen says she wants to see the medical report. And then Wendy comes downstairs to check on them and she kind of gets into it a little bit with Karen. She says that she wants Karen to hold Monique accountable and Karen says that she has. And then they show the flashback of Karen telling Monique that she messed up and, you know, she needs to make it right. I guess that one little sentence would be Karen's excuse or Karen's validation in saying that she called Monique out and made Monique accountable. I don't know if that one sentence qualifies, but it's something, I guess. Then basically Karen says the things that Wendy is saying makes her look ignorant. Well, I be damned. I do think that Wendy's going a little hard on Monique. And also, like, okay, I understand you don't agree with what she did, but are you going to give her a chance to change and apologize and make an effort? I don't think Wendy's going to do that anytime soon. Basically, Karen said, I said what I said, and I'm not changing my stance. I mean, kudos to Karen for standing her ground and not wavering. So that's where that episode ends. What do y'all think of this episode overall? I definitely think there were some cute scenes, but again, this is a pretty, like, I would put this at a filler episode also. We could have done without the Gizelle and Jamal scene. We could have technically done without that bowling scene. Overall, it was a decent episode. I just think we all still have the fight in our head. So we're still like, where's that kind of a drama? And like my friend Jay pointed out, we want to see that fight with Michael and Chris. Okay, what is going on with the Baldies? So then we get the preview for next week's episode and the women are going to Portugal. We see Ashley having another therapy scene. Child, boring. I don't have time for that. Candiace seemingly gets signed to a record label. We see Gizelle talking to Karen about the Ray money situation, which, that is going to be quite the scene. I cannot wait to see that scene. Then we see more of Monique and the legal situation, and it looks like we're going to finally see Monique pressing charges against Candiace as well. I'm very interested to see what Monique's grounds. What are her, yeah, no, I don't know the legal terms, but what are her claims? I could easily just look it up, but I'll just wait. Please tell me what y'all thought about this episode. Leave me positive reviews and 5 stars and all of that. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week. This has been an episode of Now We Said It. Bye.
But now we said it.